Ever wonder what goes on behind the scenes to keep our data safe from those nasty cyber attacks?
Yeah, it's a constant battle out there in the digital world.
So today we're taking a deep dive into the world of security operations centers, or SOCs as they're known. We've got our hands on some super interesting stuff, training materials, articles by those in the know, giving us a sneak peek into what these cybersecurity pros actually do.
It's a fascinating world full of, high pressure situations and critical thinking.
Right, it's like a digital battlefield. We'll break down four key roles you'll find in a SOC, starting with the cybersecurity specialist. They're kind of like the first line of defense, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Hmm.
They're the ones making sure the day-to-day stuff is locked down tight. Think setting up those user accounts, making sure everyone's got strong password.
So they're the ones who get to reset my password when I inevitably forget it.
Probably. But more importantly, they're the ones making sure the software is all up to date. You know those security patches everyone ignores? They're the ones making sure they actually happen.
Okay, so patching is important. Got it.
Huge. It's all about building that strong security posture, preventing those vulnerabilities before they can even be exploited.
Kind of like a digital immune system, right?
Exactly. They're also monitoring those traffic flows,
Yeah.
basically keeping an eye on how data is moving around the network, looking for anything suspicious.
So it's like being a digital detective, always on the lookout for clues.
Which brings us to our next role, the threat hunter. Now, these guys are the real digital detectives.
They sound pretty badass. What exactly do they do?
Well, they're proactively searching for threats, before any damage is done.
So before those red alert sirens start blaring.
Exactly. They spend a lot of time analyzing past attacks.
So they really get inside the minds of these attackers.
Absolutely. Trying to figure out their tactics, their methods, their tools. And then they run simulations, like controlled attacks.
Oh, wow. So they're actually hacking their own systems.
In a way, yes. But it's all done in a safe and controlled environment. This helps them to identify vulnerabilities and then figure out how to fix them before the bad guys can exploit them.
Now that sounds intense. Okay, so we've got the cybersecurity specialist building the defenses and the threat hunter actively hunting down threats. Where does the vulnerability analyst fit into all of this? They also seem to be focused on weaknesses, right?
Right, but it's more about understanding the weaknesses and how to prioritize fixing them.
So they're not just looking for cracks in the wall, but figuring out which ones need patching first.
Precisely. They assess the potential impact of each vulnerability and then work on mitigating the most critical risks first.
So it's about creating a tailored defense plan, not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. They're all about risk-based mitigation strategies,
Yeah.
ensuring resources are focused where they matter most.
Okay, makes sense. So how do these first three roles differ from, say, a pen tester?
Great question. A penetration tester is like let me think of a good analogy.
Like an ethical hacker.
Yes, like an ethical hacker who tries to break in to find the weaknesses.
Bruh.
But the vulnerability analyst is more focused on finding those weaknesses before someone tries to break in and then helping prioritize and fix those weaknesses.
So more proactive than reactive.
Yes, exactly.
And last but not least, we have the crypt analyst. Now they sound like they hold the keys to some kind of digital Fort Knox.
They kind of do. These are the code breakers of the cybersecurity world.
Dealing with all those complex algorithms and ciphers.
Exactly. They're the ones making sure sensitive data stays secret, even if it falls into the wrong hands.
So even if someone intercepts the data, it's just gibberish to them without the key.
Exactly. And they play a vital role in public key infrastructure.
Mm.
This is like a global system for digital identities and encrypted messaging.
So they're like the guardians of our digital secrets.
Do you say that?
Wow. Okay, so we've got the builders, the detectives, the strategists, and the code breakers all working together in this high-stakes world of cybersecurity.
It's amazing, isn't it? Which of those roles most sparked your interest?
You know what? They're all super cool in their own right, but those threat hunters, they really caught my attention. Proactively searching for vulnerabilities before they can be exploited, that's next level stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
And it really highlights how complex this field is. As our reliance on technology continues to grow, so too does the importance of these roles.
Definitely. So to our listeners out there, how do you see the role of cybersecurity evolving in the future? Something to ponder? Thanks for joining us for another deep dive into the endlessly fascinating world of tech. See you in the next one.